About 11 months ago, I made a video using Seeking Alpha's short squeeze potential screener, and 4 of those picks absolutely crushed it. I'm talking about gains of 20%, 58%, 64%, and 96%. So I ran that screen again and 2 companies came up, and I want to share with you what they are and if they are potentially the next ones that could pop. But first, the disclaimer. What's up? I'm Russ. I am a welder. I am not a financial professional. I am somebody who is passionate about investing and passive income and just sharing my thoughts and ideas with you for fun and entertainment. But before we get to the newest picks, check out what the tool identified, and they also pay a dividend that delivered fantastic returns. Clear Secure, ticker YOU, went up 20%. Powell Industries, ticker POWL, gained 58%. The Cheesecake Factory, ticker CAKE, rose 64%. And the one and only BBW, Build-A-Bear Workshop, up almost 100%. Here we are in seekingalpha.com, and by the way, they give me a link, and if you sign up for an annual subscription, you save some money. I get some money from that, and Seeking Alpha gets a new subscriber, so it's a win-win-win if you ask me. And I have that affiliate link below. So here we are, and all you have to do once you're on Seeking Alpha is in the bottom left, click on Stock Screener, and here they have their pre-built screens with all kinds of different things like, hey, trending AI stocks, high yield dividend stocks. But the one that we're going to be looking at is all the way at the very, not top stocks under 10 bucks, but hey, maybe that floats your boat. It is the strong buy stocks with short squeeze potential. And these are stocks with a quant rating, which is their own proprietary quant of strong buy and over a 10% short interest. But Russ, what is short interest? Well, short interest is the percentage of a stock's shares that people have borrowed and sold, betting that the price will go down. Think of it like this. If I borrow your bike and sell it for $100, hoping to buy it back later for $80 and keep the $20 difference. But if your bike's price goes up to $120, I'm in trouble. I still have to buy it back and return it to you, but now I'm losing $20. The same thing happens with stocks. When a lot of people are betting against the stock, which is high short interest, but the stock starts going up instead of down, those short sellers panic. They have to buy the stock to cover their bets, which pushes the price even higher, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a short squeeze. And both of our picks today have a short interest above 10%, which is quite a bit of people betting against these companies. So there are 35 such companies, and we'll zoom in so you can pause the video if you want to get a flavor of what they are. But all the way at the bottom, I have them sorted by yields, and there was only 2 companies that popped up. I hope you've seen the movie Groundhog Day, because that's what it kind of feels like. The first one is Powell Industries. So yeah, it's a repeat from the previous list, and for good reason. Powell is an electrical equipment company that designs and builds custom electrical systems for utilities, industrial factories, and commercial buildings. They're riding the electrical infrastructure boom as the grid gets upgraded. The company has a strong order backlog worth over $270 million. Their recent earnings showed 65% revenue growth year over year, and according to finviz.com, the current short interest is at 20%. On Seeking Alpha, the analysts give it a buy, the Wall Street analysts rate it a buy, and the quant from Seeking Alpha gives it a strong buy, and Powell is up about 63% over the past year. So we'll look at the fundamentals on simplysafedividends.com. Powell Industries is unrated. Again, doesn't mean that it's a bad stock. It just means that they're not rated by Simply Safe Dividends. And they have a dividend yield of 0.40%, which is probably going to turn a lot of you off. But over the past 52 weeks, it did go as high as $352, and as of this recording, it's $266. The dividend has been frozen for some years. They did give a slight raise, but not really my style. I like dividend growth companies, but you can't argue with results. Powell did go up a whole heck of a lot since that last video, and they're currently hitting you with $1.07 of dividends per share per year. Looking at the financials quite quickly again, always you can pause the video if you want to look at these trends a little bit more closely. Free cash flow payout ratio, very low, but they do look like that cyclical type company when you have free cash flow negative some years and up some years. So we're currently in a boom and upcycle, and obviously from all that AI infrastructure spending, and people are hungry for power. That sales growth has been climbing almost, I'm guessing, an all-time high of 45% in 2024, and their total sales are $1.08 billion the last 12 months, which looks to be at least a 10-year high, if not an all-time high. Shares outstanding 12.2 million, so they don't really dilute that much, which dilution means that they're putting new shares out into the market, so there's more shares to spread the earnings out over, which is why we like to see buybacks, because then, there are less shares in the market to spread hopefully growing earnings out over. Their margins are very nice. Free cash flow margin could be a little bit better. Remember, the dividend is paid out of free cash flow, which has been declining, but all their other margins are still very high and nice. And according to simplysafedividends.com, they have no net debt. And for a bit of a price target, according to alphaspread.com, they give Powell Industries an intrinsic value of $193.70 on the base case, making it about 27% overvalued. Next, we have ticker GCMG, which is GCM Grosvenor, which is an alternative investment management company, and they manage money for pension funds, endowments, and wealthy people who want exposure to private equity, hedge funds, and other alternative investments. They manage about $86 billion in assets. The company focuses on alternative investments, which have been really hot lately, as investors are looking beyond the traditional stocks and bonds, and Grosvenor provides that exposure through their professional management. According to finviz.com, their short interest is at 16%. Now, the stock is up over 20% year to date. All analyst categories show a buy rating, with the quant showing that strong buy rating. Now, at least the starting yield on this one is a little bit better for GCM Grosvenor. Again, unrated dividend safety score, but they are a small cap company, only $690 million market cap. They look to have just started paying that dividend right before the pandemic happened, and it is flat. So these are not dividend growth stocks. Annual payout 44 cents per share per year. And peeping in on the financials, yeah, this is something you want to keep an eye on because it's expected over the next 12 months. Remember, this is projected from analysts. Why? Well, if they knew exactly what would happen over the next 12 months, some analysts would have a whole hell of a lot of money and wouldn't be analysts. But they're expecting their free cash flow per share to fall off a cliff to 8 cents, which would put their free cash flow payout ratio at 518%. If that happens, ladies and gentlemen, that dividend is going to get cut and probably go away. But that's all speculative. We'll see if it comes to pass. And their earnings payout ratio is a respectable 57%. Their sales growth was negative in 2022, but it's 15% now. So you'd like to see sales not cyclical, but increasing from year over year. But over the last 12 months, hey, it does look like they barely topped out at an all-time high. Shares outstanding, there is a little bit of dilution going on here, 194 million currently. They do have a negative 142% return on equity. Now that could mean a lot of things. They could have made a big investment, kind of like if you bought a car. Like when we bought a car, our money took a hit, but we're not broke. A lot of companies also return so much cash to shareholders through dividends and buybacks that their equity base is very low. So it's case-by-case basis for each company, and you would need to do some digging on why the ROE is low. On the free cash flow margin, you like to see that 134%, and what that probably means is that a company like Grosvenor, they manage money for people, so they have a lot of fees coming in. They're a very capital-light business, so they don't have a lot of expenditures, so most of the money that comes into them in fees and whatnot goes right to the free cash flow. So that's very nice to see and encouraging. For some of these smaller companies, it's more hit and miss on simplysafedividends.com to get accurate numbers. But it looks like they have potentially no net debt, and it shows an ICR, interest coverage ratio, of 4.36. If you're new around here and you don't know what an interest coverage ratio is, all that means is how many dollars of operating income or earnings before interest and taxes, which we call EBIT, does a company have to cover every $1 of interest on the debt? Just like you. you got to be able to pay the interest on your debt comfortably, because if you can't, things will turn ugly when you can't and you default on your debt. So they currently have $4.36 of operating income to cover every $1 of interest on the debt. You want to see that closer to 6, 7, 8. Give them a little bit of wiggle room. And interestingly, alphaspread.com does have them undervalued on the base case by 1%. Intrinsic value of $13.13. Hey, 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Sounds like lucky 13 to me all around. So it could be undervalued by 1%, but if we get a short squeeze going, it could go a lot higher. But remember that short squeezes are unpredictable. Timing is everything, and there's no guarantee that these will pop. For Powell, the main risks are their dependence on infrastructure spending and utility budgets. And the stock has already had a big run since we last shared it, so some gains are probably already priced in. And for Grosvenor, alternative investments which they manage can be volatile. Their fees are tied to market performance, and rising interest rates can hurt alternative investment flows. So I don't think we're seeing any rising interest rates anytime soon, so they should be good there. And remember that high short interest exists for a reason, because some investors think that these stocks are overvalued and they got some hair on them. So there you have it. 2 short squeeze potential candidates that I will not be buying. I'd love to know if you're going to be buying any of these. I think some of you got into Powell. So will they be the next big winners? I don't know. Time will tell, and we'll check it out in another 11 months, okay? So let us know in the comments below what you think. Do you use Seeking Alpha's short squeeze potential screener? Have you used it successfully? Share your wins with us. Don't forget, I also have a free and fantabulous weekly newsletter you can sign up for below. And hey, in this floating little box next to my head, if you do want to see that video where I shared Build-A-Bear and Cheesecake Factory and Powell, click that floating little box next to my head and I'll tell you all about them there.